Right now. Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to Bear Cave Ranch. It's very early in the morning. What time is it?
Like 7:30.
Yeah, like
Not
7.
that early.
So not super early. I've been up since 4. But sun's up. It's December 7th. And we're feeding chickens, and the goats are wanting the chicken food, but they can't have any. Oh, they're going to get some anyway.
Okay, guys.
Also, say hello to Remington. He's a pretty dog. And today, as soon as the goats get fed, we're going to go in and we're going to do a little review on our goat shelter that we bought. Always keep your alfalfa dry. This tarp is actually the old awning thing off of our RV that ripped about a week after we moved out here, so we cut it off and figured
Okay, Karen, you're being extra.
figured we'd find a use for it, and we did. We keep the feed covered with it. Oh, let's go in.
Yep, go run, Felicia. We might try to pet you.
All cold and frosty. Also, if you look out over there, let's see if we can see it. You can see a trailer way over there. It's about a mile away. That trailer was sitting right there yesterday. Some new people moved out. They're going to start an off-grid homestead a mile away from us. And they didn't have an RV when they moved out here like we did. They were sleeping in their Jeep. So we towed that trailer over for them last night. We met them, got to know them. They're just looking to do basically exactly what we're doing. In fact,
Felicia,
they've watched this channel. So
eat your food.
we have fans living near us. That's kind of cool. Anyway, all the goat poop's frozen. That's awesome. So, this is our goat shelter. We wanted to build one. Like a lot of things, we found that it was cheaper to just buy something. And this may not be a permanent goat shelter, but for this winter it will be. And let's talk details. How much did this cost? We're right in the sun.
We'll come over this way then.
There you go.
Like
It's like
it was
130.
under 150.
Yeah.
Like we looked at a couple of different ones. I think this one was like 146 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So not bad.
Yep.
There's a lot of them out there that are a heck of a lot more money that are fairly cheaply made.
Yeah. So one thing we looked at was the Amazon reviews. We have very high wind out here.
We looked at the reviews, we looked at the construction, like what type of poles they use. These are like heavy duty steel that has been
Powder coated.
yes, powder coated so it doesn't like rust. Or...
Let's get in here and see. So yeah, we have a heavy gauge tubular poles. Another thing I felt was important was the ratchet straps.
Yes.
That hold it down in the corners.
Yep.
That keeps everything nice and tight. These cables, it actually has like these auger type anchors. Did they come with it or did we get them separate? They came with it?
No, they came with it.
Yeah.
The poles or the auger connector things. These.
Yeah.
They look like an auger. There's like a little
spiral.
Yeah, down at the bottom to hold them in, and these ones are 12 inches long, I think.
Yep.
And then the cable with the
little shackle thing. Oh.
And then this can roll down.
Mm-hmm.
So as it gets colder and whatnot, we might end up doing that, but...
Probably not, because I think just a 3-sided shelter is good for them.
Well, it depends on how much wind, but we set it up this way specifically because we don't get a whole lot of wind coming.
Yeah, the wind comes this way 90% of the time. So we have the door facing away from the wind, And the goats can get in there. The chickens go in there a little bit too, but they kind of have their own shelter. This is the remnants of the goat shelter we built out of scrap wood.
We should get some straw today at Boston's.
Yes. Yes, we're going to throw some bedding, some straw in there.
Yeah, this was their old shelter that we rebuilt 3 times.
Yeah.
4 times, something like that.
Yeah, and the wind just kept blowing it. And
Yeah.
it didn't really block the wind well enough unless we put tarps around it, and then it was like a sail, so
we've had some pretty hellacious windstorms. It stood up great, hasn't really moved much. It's pretty solid. The tarp, like, I mean, that's as far as it goes.
yeah.
That's it.
I think those cables have stretched a little bit so we could actually tighten them down if we
the
needed
tarp
to.
seems to be holding up just fine.
It does.
We've had it since September.
I think so, yeah.
Is that when we got it?
Yeah.
And we put it up, I think the day after we got it.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. And the only thing I would say that we had an issue with was putting it together, which is actually part of the reviews. Their instructions aren't very clear, and there's no way to hold the poles together.
Yeah, as small and simple as this thing looks, it does require 2 people. You got to have
At
2
least
sets of hands.
We had Tia help us too.
Yeah.
Even, so.
Just hands to hold pieces while everything's kind of fitting together, but it's held up great. We've had multiple windy days of probably 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts.
Oh, the tarp is 2 different pieces, because there's like the sides and then there's the top.
Oh yeah, so, well, this is all one piece, the sides and the top.
Yeah,
and
so
the ratchet strap runs through this into the bottom, so it not only holds it, it cinches everything tight as well, as you can see.
Yeah.
So that is actually, I mean, it's not going anywhere.
The main reason why we actually even looked into it was because someone had reviewed that they just went through a hurricane.
Yeah, it was one of the hurricanes.
Everything else got fucked up. However,
yeah, they had pictures of their trees knocked down and all kinds of stuff.
Fine, so
yep.
That's a big reason why we can get winds pretty high up here. I know one of the building codes is your roof has to stand up to 90-mile-per-hour winds.
Yeah.
So, yep.
And we haven't had winds that heavy yet, but we've definitely
we've
had
probably 50-60-mile-per-hour gusts though.
Yeah, several times since we've had this, and it hasn't even moved like an inch. It's been fine. Out of everything on our property, that is the one thing that we did different. Okay, let's show that.
Oh, we got this old what is it called?
Frost-free or freeze-proof.
Yeah, from his work. It was broke, so not really usable. Anyways, we put it in the bottom of this back part. There's a little hole that you can slip something in, but we put it in there to kind of hold
the back
down a little bit more.
Yeah, it doesn't come with a pipe.
Sides, they kind of lift and they'll blow in the air and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
yeah, but there's no pipe or tube that goes through that bottom on this back side, so yeah, it's basically just a big 3/4 inch galvanized pipe.
Works perfectly.
Yep.
Lays that back end down, so when the wind does blow in this way,
there's a little extra weight.
Yeah, it doesn't just flow right through.
And this is Shelter Logic is the brand. We found it on.
Repurpose it next year for alfalfa.
Yeah, we'll keep feed in it. That's
shelter.
That's our plan. That's always our plan. If we do something we think it's temporary, kind of have a thought of what we'll do with it after, and that is exactly we'll use it as a goat shelter this year. You know, those in the spring or summer we'll build something a little nicer with like multiple bays for the goats, and then we'll just actually use that to keep feed in, to keep it dry, instead of using that tarp, which is also a repurposed thing. A lot of repurposing out here on the homestead. A couple of old chairs that are just beat up, but they hold up wood, and the goats like to get up there and climb. Well, cooler for them to climb on. That's actually a composter but the chickens like to go in there as well as there.
Nice and warm in there.
Yeah, exactly. They do really enjoy it. Let's go to that chicken coop because we got a cool recycled thing over there too. Yesterday I filled it up. Did it freeze? Just a little bit.
You gotta check the other chicken's water.
Yep.
Oh, that's a water barrel that we repurposed.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? It was like a 30-gallon.
Yeah, that was a 30-gallon water barrel that someone gave us, but it was not a food grade barrel, so we didn't want to use it for our drinking water.
We cut a hole for the chickens to be able to use it as a coop.
Yep, so
Well,
that's being used for water right now for the goats because
you
I popped a hole in the metal one that we had.
He decided to break the ice with a stick that had a nail on the end for
Yep.
some reason. And
But
used the end with a nail.
that was actually meant to be a shelter just like that half for the chickens. And that is the insert from a dishwasher, the plastic insert there. And that we put in our very first chicken coop 3 years ago.
Yep.
So yeah, we've actually had that for 3 years. It didn't make it with our initial move up here, but it's up here now. Kind of the last load it was in. But yeah, that has been part of our chicken setup for 3 years. And they like it. They can get in there and get out. I mean, even though we have this big wooden one, they do still use that. Let's see if the chickens get out.
I don't want to let them out. I want them to get away from the door.
The chickens, there we go. We'll set it up. Yep, it's just a little shelter for them. If the chickens get out, they like to go and peck at the skirting on the RV there. Well, the sun's terrible. There we go. And that's insulation. So that's our review on our goat shelter primarily, and a couple of other things that, like, repurposing, recycling is a big part of homesteading. Trash is kept to a minimum because everything, we can find a purpose for it, and once that purpose is done, we can find another purpose for it. So,
Yeah, like kind of using it as a food source.
yes, like the dog's chewing on it. And of course, we'll be highlighting that in some more videos. I mean, but everything, even this, I just kind of want to show this real quick since I'm here. This is a bed frame, one of those kind of cheap Walmart beds. It was white for one of the girls, for Grace. And then Connor took it and he wanted it like army green, so I spray painted it. And now we're going to use it as like trellis, I think. Hey, you two, stop. Hey. Dang hillbillies. Anyway, that's going to become some trellis in the garden that we're going to put over here. So everybody like, comment, subscribe, share, follow us on Facebook. I'll put the link down below. Tell us what you think, and we'll see you next time.